For this video, we are going to bring out our zombie fever and bring you some of the best films of the genre. Let's start. Number 12. Rampant. Korea is immersed in a plague that has affected the population and turned them into zombies. Prince Lee Kong will have to return from his exile to take control and fight against this unstoppable threat attacking his kingdom. The film's strength lies in the marvelous performances. It is a movie that is enjoyable visually with great action scenes. The makeup of the zombies and the special effects are of excellent quality, as we have come to expect from Korean productions. Number 11. Overlord. We are presented with a fascinating mix of zombies and Nazis. With just hours remaining until D-Day, a group of American paratroopers will jump into Nazi-occupied France to carry out a mission crucial to the success of the invasion. The mission is to destroy a radio transmitter installed at the top of a church. The soldiers join forces with a young local Frenchman to infiltrate the wall and take down the tower. However, in a Nazi laboratory set up in front of the church, the American soldiers, outnumbered by their adversaries, must confront an enemy they never imagined.
¡Están experimentando con ellos! ¡No son nuestra misión!
Number 10. Extinction. World War III erupts with the use of nuclear and other chemical weapons, leading to a significant reduction in the global population. Peter, his daughter, and his not-so-friendly neighbor are the only survivors in the city of Bangor, facing temperatures of 10 degrees below zero. Despite their animosity, both men must join forces to fight against an unexpected common enemy. Peter is a rather absent father and husband, plagued by the strange nightmares that he cannot fully understand. All he sees are disordered fragments, but the outcome is always the same: the loss of his loved ones, his entire family, amidst a catastrophe. These distractions are affecting his work, his marriage, and his relationship with his daughters. However, one night, this nightmare becomes reality when the city is attacked by beings intent on annihilating the human race. Peter and Lucy try to escape and keep their family safe while trying to understand who these invaders are and why they want to destroy everything. This film is a thriller that blends action, science fiction, and even a touch of horror.
No entiendo por qué no buscas ayuda.
Porque dirán que está en mi cabeza.
Está en tu cabeza.
If you like top movies, don't forget to subscribe and activate the bell to see more videos like this. Number 9. 28 Days Later, a film that revitalized the zombie as a fearsome and mysterious creature. A team from an animal protection organization breaks into a top-secret laboratory to free a group of chimpanzees subjected to horrific experiments. However, as soon as they are released, the primates, infected by a mysterious virus and driven by uncontrollable rage, attack their rescuers and massacre them. 28 days later, the disease has spread at an alarming rate across the country, leading to a mass evacuation of the population, and London appears to be a ghost town. It is in this context that Jim, a courier, wakes up from a deep coma.
¡Están infectados! ¿Infectados? Padre, ¿infectados de qué?
Number 8. Flu. The worst epidemic ever seen is ravaging Mondag, a suburb of Seoul, following the introduction of a group of illegal immigrants into the country. Bo Jun-wo dies from an unknown virus, and shortly afterward, the same symptoms begin to appear in the local residents. The town feels helpless against a virus that spreads through the air, with the number of infected rapidly increasing and unleashing chaos. Trying to prevent the worst-case scenario, the city, home to 19 million inhabitants, prepares to close its borders under government orders. Meanwhile, a virus specialist and a rescue worker enter the city to obtain a blood sample from patient 0, a crucial part of the research needed to develop a vaccine. Through a car accident, the specialist meets a doctor, and together they must fight against this threat.
He's spotted!
Number 7. Alive. We continue with viruses. This time, a mysterious virus is rapidly spreading across Seoul, once again the Korean capital, turning the infected into zombies and causing terrible chaos in the city. As the infection grows and undead seek out victims, two neighbors trapped in the same building with very different personalities will fight together and do everything possible to stay alive. Our protagonist is Ju Woo, a tech-savvy gamer who also streams games with his friends. One day, he wakes up in his apartment to find his family has gone to work and his mother left a message saying there's no food in the fridge, so he needs to go out and buy something. One of the things that will surprise you most about this film is that it pulls no punches. The character introduction is very brief. Just 5 minutes in, Ju Woo turns on the TV and learns about a strange virus that is cannibalizing the population. Looking out onto the terrace, he sees the unfolding chaos. People fleeing through the streets as citizens bite others in a zombie epidemic. Ju Woo decides to stay in his home and survive as best he can because the situation is deteriorating by the second. He organizes his food and drinks, but as days pass, his supplies dwindle and he will also run out of electricity and water.
¿Podremos sobrevivir?
Debemos sobrevivir.
Number 6. The Night Eats the World. A film that draws on the classics but moves beyond the basics to delve into mental health. Sam, a young man living in Paris who loves solitude, decides to attend a party hosted by his ex-girlfriend, Fanny. After experiencing one of the strangest nights of his life, he wakes up the next morning alone in a room in the house where the other occupants have vanished. When he looks out the window to see where he is, he discovers that the city is overrun with the undead wandering the streets. Disoriented and utterly terrified, Sam must seek protection to survive the chaos. But is he the only survivor? This film is more of a sensory experience than one with a precise meaning. In this way, a zombie movie also becomes a film about loneliness. Number 5. The Battery. Two former baseball players embark on an odyssey that will take them through the zombie-infested streets of New England. This film bears the unmistakable mark of Jeremy Garner, who not only wrote the script and stars in the movie but also makes his directorial debut, offering a fresh perspective on the post-apocalyptic world overrun by the undead. The film blends and plays with the best elements of horror and comedy. The protagonists are forced to adapt to this new situation, which is not easy for them. While Ben chooses an increasingly wild and nomadic lifestyle, Mickey yearns for the comforts of modern life. This is why, when they receive a radio signal from people who have also survived the plague, Mickey goes to great lengths to find them, even though he knows they are not welcome there.
I want to sleep in a house, in a bed, like a real human.
Number 4. Cargo. This post-apocalyptic thriller tells the story of Andy, a father who, after being infected by a zombie virus when bitten by his wife, must keep his daughter safe not only from the other undead but also from himself. In 48 hours, if he does not find a cure, Andy's life will come to an end. Therefore, he will first try to reach an indigenous tribe that might be his only salvation. The problem is that this group lives in isolation and does not trust just anyone.
No te haré daño. Lo prometo. Ayudémonos, ¿quieres? ¿Sí?
Number 3. Train to Busan. It tells the story of a group of people traveling by train while a zombie virus breaks out in Korea. The group includes a father with his young daughter, whom he neglects due to his work, a baseball team, a couple expecting a child, a homeless man, and businessmen. Together, they must survive the hordes of zombies they encounter at each station and inside the train itself. Many alliances will form among these characters. The film also has a sequel, which takes place 4 years after the zombie outbreak. Korea is still overrun with monsters, and a soldier who escaped the country is forced to return to Seoul to retrieve a valuable item, discovering that there are still healthy people in the city.
¿Qué pasa?
Number 2. Dawn of the Dead. For this position, a classic. A zombie epidemic spreads panic across the United States. Survivors are hunted by corpses, craving the flesh of the living and are forced to seek refuge. After managing to escape from her home, Anna Clark takes her shelter in an abandoned shopping mall where she encounters 4 other people. There, they must defend themselves not only from the threat outside, but also learn to coexist with each other and stay united to escape alive. As the world becomes increasingly apocalyptic, a decomposing zombie army tries to breach the mall, facing resistance from the survivors. Each of these survivors has their own fears and suspicions. Isolated from what the world used to be, the occupants of this mall will need to forge an alliance to stay together and maintain their humanity. Number 1. World War Z. On a normal, quiet day, Jerry and his family find their car journey interrupted by a traffic jam. As a former United Nations investigator, Jerry realizes that this is no ordinary traffic jam. While the police patrol with helicopters and motorcycles, the city begins to descend into chaos. The film is an adaptation of Max Brooks's book, which tells the story of a United Nations investigator who suddenly finds himself in the midst of a zombie apocalypse. After being taken to a military aircraft carrier, he is tasked with discovering the origin of the virus that is rapidly destroying humanity. He must travel to Jerusalem, the last place with records of the virus that started the pandemic. Here, he begins a race against time that the protagonist must win if he wants to safeguard the future of humanity, which is being ravaged by enraged beings that appear to have originated from a virus.
Di a las niñas que volveré.
What movie would you add to this top list? We read you in our comments. Here we leave you with more videos like this.